I got two back-to-back emails the other day. One was a link to a story about a military officer who was convicted of a sexual assault based on an allegation from an ex-girlfriend that was made 2 years after the alleged rape. He went to prison for 5 months, was dishonorably discharged, and had his life ruined over the matter, despite the fact that there was absolutely no forensic evidence against him. He was convicted only on the say-so of a jaded woman. The other email was about a heavy metal band called Decapitated, whose 4 members were all then languishing in a Los Angeles County jail, awaiting extradition to Spokane, Washington, after a groupie accused all 4 band members of kidnapping her to a hotel room in that city. They were locked up despite the fact that several eyewitnesses said no kidnapping had occurred and that the woman came to the hotel room with the band and left on good terms. I was going to provide links to both stories, but inadvertently deleted the emails when clearing out the backlog in my AVFM mail account. Most of the time I would feel the need to root around the internet and find those links, but it doesn't really matter. There's nothing particularly remarkable about either of the stories. They're an ongoing part of modern life. I have several people who keep my inbox full of this sad state of current affairs. The modern era frenzy of high-profile sexual assault hoaxes has been with us for a while. Though it goes back further, my memories of it start in 1987 when rape liar Tawana Brawley, aided by professional piece of dog shit Al Sharpton, falsely accused police officers and a prosecutor of raping her. Later, there was the case of Bjorni Peguero, who accused a man of raping her because her girlfriends were mad at her for leaving them at a bar, where she got drunk and climbed into a van with 3 men she didn't know. One of the men ended up doing 4 years in prison for the crime that never happened. Then came the Category 5 case, when the now convicted murderer, Crystal Gail Mangum, accused 3 members of the Duke University lacrosse team of raping her at a frat party. Of course, she was later proven to be a liar. Since then, it's been a progression of one case after another. There was the Hofstra case, where Dan Mel Indanye accused 5 Hofstra students of gang raping her in a men's bathroom. It turned out that the sex was, of course, consensual. She just didn't want her boyfriend to know that she made herself the star player in a gangbang, so she lied and had 5 innocent men arrested and put in jail. Around the same time, International Monetary Fund Managing Director Dominique Strauss-Kahn was falsely accused of rape by a hotel maid, Nefissatou Diallo. After posting a total of $6 million in bonds, the case was dropped by prosecutors because every time Diallo opened her mouth, they caught her in another lie. The event destroyed Strauss-Kahn's political career. Then there was ABC Television's New York weather girl Heidi Jones, who sent the New York Police Department on a 350-hour wild goose chase for an alleged rapist that didn't exist. When she finally admitted to lying about everything, she said, and I quote, "I made it up for attention. I have so much stress at work, with my personal life, and with my family." Unquote. Of course, her high-paying, prestigious job and family stress forced her to make up a rape lie. It even forced her to allege that her non-existent attacker was Hispanic. After all, what would a good rape story be without adding in racial tension to the mix? Ask professional piece of dog shit Al Sharpton. Rather than all these bullshit stories going down in flames causing false rape accusers to become more circumspect about how they would go about seeking attention or how they would cover their sorry, cheating asses, things only got worse. The Rolling Stone gang rape story hit the rocks and crashed not long after it came out. Emma Solkowitz, better known as Mattress Girl, got outed as an unabashed liar. Columbia University, the school that backed her constant efforts to persecute her victim, just settled out of court with him. There are dozens of other cases now pending at other institutions where rape liars have found strong allies in corrupt school administrations and endless support from swarms of social justice warriors in student bodies who never saw a rape accusation they didn't like. The trend goes back much further, of course. Google the Scottsboro boys. That case and a number of others like it showcase the convenience of the prevailing bigotry of the times, making false rape claims then what they are today. A dangerously easy cover for women for the sake of revenge, for covering infidelity, and for the simple and pathetic need for attention. The rape allegation has always been the snowflake's best first option. And it is not like anyone's doing anything about it. A woman in the UK, Gemma Beale, was finally put in prison, but only after she claimed that she had been seriously sexually assaulted by 6 men and raped by 9, all strangers, in 4 different incidents over 3 years. The prosecutor in the case, Madeleine Wolfe, told the court that police spent 6,400 hours investigating Beale's claims at a cost of £250,000. Her trial cost the Crown over £100,000. The one unifying factor in all these cases is that the women were lying. Even as we look back just over the last 10 years or so, we see that with the one possible exception of the Steubenville rape case, each and every media-driven, high-profile rape case that has landed in the laps of the public, all of them were false. All of them. And of course, the trad femme establishment has responded to all these vicious lies with one simple-minded mantra: believe the woman. Yeah, right. Believe the woman. Tell you what, I have a few more suggestions that I'd like to add to that, as long as we're chanting stupid ideas. Believe the politician. How's that sound? How about believe the lawyer? Believe the media? Believe the fucking 5-year-old who says he didn't take the cookies? Believe the woman? Sorry. But I'm more inclined to believe a sociopath who wants to borrow money when he says he'll pay me back next week. And if perchance you think this is just one more crazy problem of postmodern society, you should think again. The truth is that society has been clamoring to believe lying women for a very long time. From Victoria Price and Ruby Bates, the 2 rape liars in the Scottsboro case, all the way to Emma Sulkowicz, we have had a cultural standard of women who lie about being raped. The only thing different about postmodern culture, thanks to feminists, is that we now have an entire industry founded on the lies, supported by your tax dollars. That support is buttressed by the traditional lie that views women through the lens of sugar and spice and everything nice. The lie that women are morally superior to men and are deserving of our protection and provision regardless of their acts of moral turpitude, false rape allegations included. The lies of feminism are understandable, since feminism is a movement founded on lies. It stands to reason that it takes lies to keep it propped up, and there's little anyone can do about that. The traditional lies, however, are a problem with possible amelioration because they are based on the general state of idiocy in men. I don't say that lightly, and I certainly don't say it with no more reason than to just be insulting. To be fair to men, it must be stated that the idiocy isn't a lack of intelligence. It comes from improper education about how men see women and how they see themselves. I see that embarrassingly reflected in my inbox on a regular basis, mixed in with the regular emails I get from men telling horror stories about false claims of rape, domestic violence, sexual harassment, and the like. There are other messages from men seeking advice. If they were not so tragic, they'd be comical. Dear Paul, my girlfriend had sex with 2 of my friends and stole all my money. Do you think I should consider leaving her? Dear Paul, my wife filed for divorce, accusing me of sexually assaulting my children, getting me fired. Do you think it's possible she has a personality disorder? If so, how can I help her get better? Dear Paul, this girl I started dating last month wants me to beat up her ex-boyfriend because she says he's a bastard. Should I do it? Now, of course, these are all paraphrased, but in paraphrasing, I didn't exaggerate a thing. This represents a very uncomfortable portion of the emails I get from men asking for advice or support. Remember the Hofstra case? Those innocent young men were jailed where they were threatened and bullied by guards and other inmates. After all, rape is the worst crime ever, don't you know? And rapists are equally reviled by law enforcement and criminals. When it comes to rape, no one bothers waiting for a conviction. One of the Hofstra men falsely accused by the woman of raping her immediately upon being released from jail said what was on his mind. Honestly, I was very scared, he said. I don't know why she did what she did. I hope she doesn't go through what we went through. That was it. He hoped that she didn't go through anything like what he went through. That right there. That is the problem. More than false rape claims, more than feminist lies, more than the lies of traditionalists who stupidly think every woman is Snow White. It is the absolute and total stupidity of the average man, ever ready and willing to bend over and take it up the ass without a fight. And sure enough, there was likely a lot of people who read about that and thought, what a guy. He went through all that and came out of it with compassion for the girl who lied about him raping her. Now, to be fair to stupid men, you must admit they come from a stupid society. A society that talks about being the bigger man when it should be talking about tar and feathers and running people out of town on rails. Such is the world we live in, and I really could be upset about it. And in fact, it was only in the last 4 or 5 years that I gave up my outrage. It took me a long time to settle on the fact that I wasn't really a part of that world in the truest sense, and I am much better off for it. It's just a stupid world full of stupid people doing really stupid shit to each other. Rape hysteria and the fits of moral outrage that come with it continues in that world despite the fact that time after time after time the accusers are proven liars. And each time it happens, the world is thankful when the true victims, the men who were falsely accused, react like whipped dogs, expressing concern and compassion for the perpetrators. It makes me eternally thankful for the small but growing world of red pill men. Without that, and trust me, this is no exaggeration, I would just quit. Without this subculture's wisdom that smiles knowingly at every high-profile rape case that sends the blue pill world into a panic, there would be no point in me doing this. You're a small group comparatively. You are by far outnumbered by gender zombies. And though you suffer the intellectual isolation of a world crazy enough to think that there's something wrong with you for not participating, I hope you know that you make a profound difference where it matters most, to each other and to yourselves. In that regard, this talk today isn't just another commentary on the suffocating stench of the postmodern miasma. It is instead a thank you note. Believe it or not, outside of my home, you're the only real place of sanity I get to enjoy. Without you, I'd just give up. I'd just post kitten videos and enjoy lots of views from an audience of insane cowards and the terminally stupid. Thank you for not sentencing me to that life. And that concludes today's talk. As always, I hope you've enjoyed. I know I have. And we'll see you next time.